One of the high holidays in the sports universe is upon us, and here to talk about the reason for the season is Mr. Oris Stuart. He is the Executive Vice President and Chief People Officer of the National Basketball Association, joining us today to talk about the NBA's partnership with historically Black colleges and universities throughout NBA All-Star Weekend and throughout the duration of the season. So, Mr. Stuart, it is an honor to have you on today, man.
Pleasure's mine. Good to be here with you.
Yesterday, a featured and significant rollout of the NBA's plans for All-Star Weekend, complete with scholarship support for historically Black college universities through several advocacy organizations. This is something that is sort of a capstone of sorts to a playoff last year and then a season this year of outreach and partnership with HBCUs. Can you kind of talk about the catalyst from a league perspective
Sure.
to partnering with HBCUs and why it became a centerpiece of you guys' community activism and community good initiatives?
Sure. Well, let me start by saying HBCUs have been an important part of our history in terms of players, employees, referees, other people associated with our league who have in their roots experiences on HBCU campuses. And so we, as we were working with the PA to determine our plans for All Star, the idea of partnering with HBCUs as part of the experience came up, and there was fully enthusiastic support for the concept. And so, once we made that decision, we were all in, and we all started to run with it.
It's interesting because the NBA, more so than any other professional league, has fully put its arms around the players and their embrace of social activism and raising voices for specific social issues. And that has been to the league's credit. How easy is that to take that kind of position outside of labor force, outside of social good, just to say, hey, we're with you on these things that are important to you?
Well, listen, I think it starts with the game itself, a game that's inclusive by its very nature. You can access our game regardless of who you are, your station life, your background. And so I think that's where it starts. And so as we think about the experience we want to create through basketball, as we think about the relationship we have with our fans, as we think about the service that we want to give to the communities that are so important to our success, we want to be inclusive in every aspect of that. And then if you really reflect on our history, a history that has many examples of players standing up for what's right, standing up for inclusion, standing up for equity and equality. I'd like to believe it's in our DNA. I mean, I think the evidence suggests that. And so, we are, I think, continuing a tradition of commitment to, again, our communities and commitment to, standing up for the principles and values that I think are tied directly to the game itself. And so this is just another one of those opportunities for us to do that.
You have franchises in several HBCU communities throughout the country. You're going to be playing this year's All-Star game in an HBCU community, Atlanta.
Sure.
What has been the reaction of the particular teams in their efforts to have HBCU nights and to have individual collaborations with those HBCU communities? We know what it's like. We know what it feels like from an NBA perspective, but how have your franchises actually embraced that too?
Yeah, I'll tell you, there's a real a movement afoot. I mean, first of all, there are many relationships that have existed and persisted for some time, but certainly I'm excited about the number of new relationships that are emerging and the depth of those relationships that I think have reciprocal value, right? Where the institution itself is rewarded, the NBA as a brand and as a league, and of course that local team is rewarded in so many ways. Just one example is the partnership between the Dallas Mavericks and Paul Quinn College right there in Dallas. I mean, that is a partnership that exists at a number of levels, but it's gone to a new level now. And so there are just lots of examples of that. And I expect that there will be more, and we'll see more and more opportunities for us to build even deeper connections.
Let's talk about that because HBCUs have been um, a catalyst of sorts for the post career ambitions of a lot of NBA players. So we see a lot of former players that are getting shots at head coaching positions at black colleges.
Sure.
Is that part of a partnership that the league has helped to broker, or is it just something that you guys have said, "Hey, great job. We see that this is an emerging trend. We'll see if we can support that in a lot of ways."
Listen, I think that's more than anything an organic process that's evolved because of the respect for the skills that our players have, and the players' respect for those institutions, and the opportunity to go and support those institutions. I think it's really that. I think it's opportunity, finding talent, finding commitment, all kind of wrapped into one.
You guys, I give you a lot of credit because you not only are working with HBCUs, but you're doing it in a very authentic way. So it's not like, HBCU, let's throw $1 million at you. You're actually getting into HBCU culture. You're exploring ways to elevate the academic prowess and pride of HBCU. So it's not just a cultural thing. Can you talk about the process in your shop where you kind of dig deep and get into the nuances of HBCU culture so you can bring them out in a respectful, um, really honorable way as a corporate, from a corporate perspective, but you're doing it in a real genuine way?
Yeah, that's a great question, and I'd argue a great observation too, and I appreciate you for saying that, and let me offer a couple of responses. First, personally, I want to mention that the first HBCU, Cheney University, founded in 1837, just outside of Philadelphia. My mother is a graduate of Cheney U. My grandmother's a graduate of Cheney University, and my father's a graduate, and many others in my family who grew up in the Philadelphia area. And so, just personally, the pride and the connection and the commitment runs deep. But as a league, we just by the fact that we have employees and individuals who come from those institutions, who have been part of this process, who have helped enable this process from the inside out, I think is emblematic of why we've approached it the way we have, and how and why things have developed the way they have as well. So I would say it's a combination of wanting to truly be in service and appreciation for the true contribution these institutions have made over so long a period of time, and the authentic experiences of people throughout our league, players, employees, referees, who have been able to contribute to how we've thought about this.
NBA is a global brand, as many of us who are true fans of the league understand. Do you think that there is a place for HBCUs to develop an identity within the talent pipeline? And I don't mean just from a player's perspective,
Sure.
but from an executive training, from a sports marketing and hospitality perspective, from sports science and athletic training. Are there opportunities that the league may be exploring where you can find more talent to support the league, support teams, and support the global brand, starting with HBCUs graduates and students?
Yes.
That's a good answer, bro.
Yes. I mean, let's keep it real simple. That is a unqualified yes.
And then the final question, just as you think about closing out this weekend and the duration of the season, are there more surprises and more opportunities that you see leveraging the HBCU partnership beyond All Star Weekend, or is this a capstone moment to just a great celebration of Black college culture involving players, executives, coaches, everybody?
Well, certainly it's at least that. It's a moment that I believe is part of a bigger movement. I mean, we've all seen the amount of attention these deserving institutions have received of late, and we're doing our part, but there's a lot more to come. And I look back to the 33-year history that we've had with Thurgood Marshall, right? So this is not something that we just started thinking about or acting
Mhm.
on. It's something that runs deep with us for quite a bit of time. And so that's going to continue. And this opportunity has just opened up a whole new set of conversations and a whole new set of opportunities for us to explore and consider together. And I would just say that, and I'll use the term I used earlier, there is incredible reciprocal value that I find that we are already finding through these partnerships. And so we'll continue to pursue pursue those opportunities, to their natural outcome.